This is the most powerful tank in the game in the hands of a good player. So I'm not going to go through the stats too much because it's basically just a slightly buffed version of the tier 10, but now at tier 11. You get better gun handling and obviously better pen. One of the best parts about the Ares 90C is that one of its upgrades actually buffs the pen from 254 on the gold to 259. Now, should you load gold or standard? They're basically the same. I spam gold because, first of all, I have 200 million credits, but now I have 170 mil. I did blow 30 mil on ammo, but mainly the shell velocity is quite nice. For sniping at long range when you're shooting multiple shots, it's good. However, it's not really that important. You do have a lot of shots after all. If you miss a few, you can hit the rest. Equipment, it's a variety of equipment. I tested a lot. I even went with the full cope equipment to see if it would make a difference. It didn't really. I had this equipment loadout. This is what I recommend for the average player. The vert stabs isn't necessarily for dispersion after firing because it doesn't affect it, but just overall dispersion. It means that you can rotate your gun, turn, and aim, and you don't have to aim as long before you can start shooting at someone. Now, something you could do is replace one of these for vents. And the reason you would use vents is not for any of these little soft stats here, but mainly for the crew skill here. Dead Eye increases critical hit chance of all shell types by 3%. If you take this and you run food and vent directive, it goes up to around 4%. And so this is very good for farming funny moments and replays and stuff. You set people on fire and ammo rack and all that. And boy, does the Ares love to set things on fire. It really does. Alternatively, what I put on it is Survival Improvement Suite Tier 3, because this tank really likes to get set on fire all the time from other Ares and basically anything. I had 2 games, not just one game, 2 games where I sidescraped against a rat and his auxiliary HE gun set me on fire. It's pretty obnoxious. But, yeah, so should you use improved aiming? You can. I don't think you really need to. The accuracy is already okay enough. And of course, the accuracy gets worse when you heat up the gun. But improved aiming doesn't make a huge amount of difference in my opinion. And even if you are inaccurate, you fire so many shots that, okay, 1 or 2 miss, you just keep following it up. And I tested this. I actually had bond vents, bond improved aiming, etc. And to be honest, it didn't really make much of a difference. So I would honestly just go with hardening, because having more health means you can survive for longer. And boy, does this tank farm damage when it survives for longer. The way this tank works is that for the first 80% of the match, you're just sitting there waiting and doing nothing. And then the last 20% of the match, you're just guns blazing, firing on all cylinders, shooting, cooling down, over and over again. This tank just somehow pulls 5k damage out of its ass in the last 2 minutes of every game. It's crazy. But that's not what makes this tank so special. What makes this tank so special is its armor compared to the tier 10. So if we go to the 3D model, live view, you look at it, the turret is red, but it's only red against other Ares. You can see 260, 250. This will block some standard rounds, but most people firing gold will go right through it. Even with gold, the Ares turret is still pretty strong. However, if you're in a hull down fight with one Ares against another, you can either HE it in the turret, because the HE is funny, but you can also pen this bottom part around half the time, so that's where you should aim. However, one small downside of the tier 11 Ares compared to the tier 10 is that the armor compared to the tier 10 for the upper plate is a bit sad. The tier 10 gets an auto ricochet upper plate, which means you don't really have to be using all of your gun depression to be strong here. And if you are using all of your gun depression, which is 9 degrees, it's an auto ricochet. Nothing's going to pen it. They have to go through your turret. The tier 10 Ares, not so good. It says it has 9 degrees of gun depression. It actually gets 10 after the upgrade, which is very nice. But if you look at the upper plate, it's only around 270 or 280. So pretty much any gold round is going to go right through this, which is a bit unfortunate. However, this tank still has better hull armor for one simple reason. Can you tell? Holy cow, for the first time in God knows how long, Wargaming didn't add a corner plate to a tank. And it actually gets even better than that. There's no underflap armor. this really is just like a classic, like almost Soviet medium type of armor layout here. And what this means is that you can side scrape. Now, against heat, this is not very strong, so keep that in mind. If you're someone shooting heat, you're going to have to angle it a bit more to try and bait them. However, if they're firing APCR, like their gold or their standard rounds, they will ricochet off this. And the thing is, a lot of people think that this tank is like a light tank or doesn't have any armor. They see you side scraping and they think, oh, just shoot it here, right? No, this is a ricochet. So you can quite often bait people into shooting into your side, and then you clip them out while they're reloading. Now, of course, the turret is the weak spot. Even like a standard round from a Sakal, for example, it's going to go right through it. And don't even get me started on the heat. Of course, if you load heat, you're going to have to angle it more to try and bait people. However, what you can do is if you're trying to bait people into shooting your side, you can actually just turn your turret and poke out like this. Even like keep your gun down, I would say. There is some weak spot part here, but it's kind of a small target, kind of hard to hit, and now they can't really pen your turret. So if your turret was the weak spot when you poked out like this, now it's not. And so you should just poke out like this and bait people into shooting your side, and then you clip them out for 1,000, which is very, very nice. Now, something I forgot to mention in my tier 10 review is that, of course, you don't want to overheat this gun. Never overheat any of these guns, but when you get to the top part, right, you go bang, 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 it gets hot, and then you get right to the top part. Don't cool down and then shoot, cool down, shoot, cool down, shoot. You may not have noticed, but this tank actually has a delay between when you start actually cooling down the gun. Yeah, right here. Reduces gun cooldown delay by 0.5 seconds. Most people don't even realize what this means. The delay is you shoot the gun, then after 0.5 seconds, the gun starts cooling down. So if you keep tapping it right before you overheat, you're adding 0.5 seconds to your reload, or I guess to your DPM, every single time you do that. So it cools down 0.5 seconds, cool down 0.5 seconds added. What you actually want to do is shoot, okay, it gets overheated, goes up. You wait 0.5 seconds and then let it cool down a lot. As you're cooling down a lot, you're skipping all the 0.5 seconds you would have introduced if you just kept tapping it at the top end. So every time you fire the gun, you reduce your DPM by 0.5 seconds. So you either full burst out and not overheat and let it cool down, or you could still tap, tap, tap if you want to be accurate at long range. But if you're in a pure DPM brawl fight, you want to unload all the way right before you overheat and then let it cool down most of the way back down. So you minimize how much you introduce this 0.5 second cooldown delay. And I think before the upgrade, it's, what is it, 1 second? That's insane. So, yeah, the reason it took so long for me to make this video for you guys is because the first video I made in one day, literally the day it came out, I got one 10k damage game, and then I think some 5,000 or 6,000 damage games. This tank is so incredible that I thought, okay, you know what? I'm only going to show 10k damage games, or close to 10k damage games. And that's what you're going to be viewing here today. So, let's get on to the replays. Alright, we're on Mountain Pass, and you may have noticed, Chems, where is your turbo? Auto equip mod did not put it on, okay? So we're gonna be playing this battle without a turbo. Not that it's really super duper important. Mountain Pass isn't a map where you need to drive a lot, but yeah, at least we have vert stabs and hardening, which are arguably a bit more important. Mainly hardening, but we're gonna start the game off by just coming over here, and so let's see if anybody crosses, but mainly if a light tank gets spotted in a bush up there, you can put at least like 4, maybe even 5 shots before he even realizes it. And light tanks don't usually run hardening, so you could probably just track them. But we're just going to sit here and wait. And that's just kind of how it is with the Ares. So I think most people, you can see here, I'm immediately going to blind fire the light tank. The light tank is actually over there. So maybe I'll blind him. Looks like the Selma actually shot him a bit, so he's going to back up. But yes, the way to be successful in this tank is that you really just have to sit and wait for most of the battle. And I've already 3-marked this tank, and I had to force myself to turn off the replay maxing part of my brain in order to 3-mark it. Because you really just, like, you'll get through like 80% of the battle, and you'll be on like 1,000 or 1,500 damage, and you'll be like, oh god, my mark's going down this game. And then within like the last 2 minutes, you pull like 5k out of your ass, and now you're on 7,500 damage, and your mark goes up. That's really how this tank works. You guys have to be extremely patient with it. And that's very interesting. Quickie Baby says this is like one of the most high skill cap tanks in the game. I guess so. But that makes me wonder, will Wargaming nerf this tank? Because when you watch replays of this tank, or funny moments, or a platoon of 3 of them jump you, or you yourself, you get outplayed by a good player in one of these tanks, it certainly feels like this is an extremely overpowered tank. However, do we want to balance tanks around how the best players perform in it, or how the average player performs in it? Because I think the average player performs average in this thing. It's not, like, overperforming at all. Anyway, I come down here because if you look at the south, our Caravan's pushed up, so I'm not going to get shot in the ass. And we actually have just, like, beautiful ass shots on these people. And check this out. Here we go. Always aim for engine deck. You see their critical damage. That was probably his engine or fuel tank. Another critical damage, and I overheated. I say never overheat. I think there is actually a good time to overheat because he's staring at me now. I can't poke this anymore. I'm going to get my last few shots off, and I'm just going to wait. And so I'm looking at this guy, and I'm thinking, how fast are his reactions? Well, I would have gotten him there, but someone else took him out. But as you can see, like, already almost 4 minutes into the game, and only done 1,600. However, there's some people over here. Let's see, can I get up this? I have to turn to the left. You have to ram into that rock on the side there in order to climb up this fully. And if you're wondering what these lights are, they're the skin. Oh, maybe I should actually not take away from the action, but yeah, this gonk shot. So let's just shoot him a bit. He's probably reloaded now. Back up. It looks like he's trying to YOLO someone. He bounced the H3. Okay, perfect. He's reloading and track him. Engine. There we go. Now there's an E90. Shoot there once. Let the gun cool down and perfect. Just like that, we're almost on 4,000 damage. But now it kind of looks like the game is pretty much over, right? When will this replay get any good? It will, but anyway, what do you think of this style? I put lights on it because, you know, if I like a tank, it's already 2-marked, by the way. This replay was from, like, weeks ago. But if I like a tank, you'll know because I give it a 3D style. With lights, even. If you notice, we're actually down on HP. Minus 3,000. Now, those KR1s are out of render, but now that they're in render, we're still down 3,000. Now, if I was a pussy bitch, I would get into the cap circle and start capping. Like that KR1 says cap, the Ares says cap. But I'm not going to do that. I said, nah, we have more HP and better positions. We'll we won't lose. We don't have more HP. I'm just trying to gaslight my team. Anyway, time to Sidescrape. Now, I actually don't want to open fire yet. It's not like I'm going to pen a lot of my shots here. And, oh, here they come. Upper plate. Yes, I can pen that. That Badger shot my side at a steep angle, and it ricocheted. Now, check this out. That is a lot of meat coming back this way. And they're more preoccupied on the cap. So now, look, I'm going to get shot by the Badger, but it's fine because I want to set this guy on fire. Come on. You see that? I did a crit there. That was probably his fuel tank. Now, cool down, cool down, cool down. That guy fired, and fire? His engine's in the front. Okay, fire. He has an auto fire extinguisher. That's okay. Guys, we're on 6k already. That's okay, I'm gonna try again. Okay, this guy's back here. Fire, fire, fire. Yes, fire. I got shot by a KR1. He also has a fire extinguisher. We're on 7k now. Okay, now we're on 7.5k. Cool down, cool down, cool down. This guy is looking at me. He's giving me his side. I want to set him on fire. Alright, fine, I'll take a shot. Oh, actually, that's a more juicy target. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Guys, we're on 8,000 damage now, okay? We're not stopping anytime soon. They're pushing in. Okay, this KR1, he wants to come up for me, but he also doesn't want to give his side to the rest of my team. And, oh, look at that. Perfect. Boom, 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 boom. I actually overheated there. I got a little too overzealous. We're on 9,200 damage. It's okay, though. I'm going to back up, and by the time I've cooled down, they're going to forget about me. See, look, they're pushing in. They're pushing in. So it's not actually the worst thing ever. Although he killed one, and now that he's reloading, he's backing up. But it's fine. Check this out. We still have 1,200 HP. I can afford to poke and take damage. Do that. There we go. 9,900 damage. I want 10k already. Damn it. Okay, I'll take the shot from him. If I could set this guy on fire. I was a bit retarded. I overheated the gun. This could have very easily been an 11,000 damage game if I didn't overheat. But, oh well. Here's the Selma. Hopefully he bounces most of his shots. No, okay. He died. And there's still a Dravik back there, apparently. So, just like that, the majority of the game was literally the meme. It was just waiting, waiting, waiting. And then the last 2 minutes, it was just... So, 10.6 thousand damage, just like that. Probably, we could say it was 11k if I didn't be an ape and overheat my gun. Sorry, I was excited. What can I say? But 10.6, I'll take it. Next replay. You think it's gonna get... Okay, look, you think that 10.6 is low? You think that's the highest damage I've done in this tank? Guess again, alright? Next replay. Alright, Ares 90C on Empire's border. I did not forget the turbo this time. In fact, I just straight up put a Bond turbo. So I don't have to deal with auto equipment bullshit. And... check out the skin. I put a spring underneath the gun. And it actually responds when you fire. I figured out how to do vertex paint for World of Tanks blend bones, but yeah, that's some nerd talk. Anyway, this replay, check out the lights. This replay is one of those replays that Quickie Baby would show on his channel as a standalone replay. He would say, what does he say? Today our hero is Chems in the Ares 90C. Oh, that's Australian, isn't it? The Ares 90C. Alright, I promise I won't do that again. Check out the skin. There's an M16A2 on the back of it because that gun looks hard as fuck. But anyway, we're gonna get an absurd damage total and kill count this game. So, okay. I immediately loaded HE because that's a grill and that's all it says. HP gone just like that. 800 right off the rip. There's an 8 over there, Ares. Most of these shots hit, as you can see. We have some blind damage, so keep that in mind for our already absurd damage total we're going to get this game. So, these two heavies have moved up here. Big mistake. You never come up to this side, or you never come up to here from that side. I poke, but I'm a bit apprehensive. Yes, you can see I don't want to get shot by that Ares. He missed. Wait, did I call it an Ares? The T-803. I do not want to get shot. I don't want to lose damage right off the rip. We're already on 1,400 damage, which is not bad. Usually, the Ares spends a lot of time doing nothing. However, this tank is good for early game damage. And, okay, only one of those hit. Again, this tank is not some hull-down brawling tank, okay? Mr. Leopard Games, in your video, you're probably going to say, good players say this tank is bad. Like how you said good players call a Tessac bad. These players aren't good. Okay? They're not good. They're just good at doing one thing, which is going hull down, bouncing shots, and just being a overall boring, generic player. This tank does not play like most tanks, okay? Your armor's decent, but it's not good enough to really go hull down and weather the storm. And you don't have enough pen to really go through the front of most heavies, let alone the turrets. And you could snipe weak spots, but even then, like, T125 weak spots, they're not that weak against pen this low. So, oh, would you look at that? That thing loves getting set on fire. Back up. I think he fired and missed. Looks like he did. Come back, shoot, and hopefully we'll set him on fire, but... yeah. This tank requires some Steel Hunter kind of mentality to play properly. Like, flanking and all that. I decided to take a shot from this guy because I want to set him on fire. But I guess it may not have been worth it, but it's fine. I overheat here because there's nothing else that I'm going to be shooting anytime soon. And as you can see, I'm going to need to back up now. We've lost the north. So it's going to be kind of hard to poke that area there without getting shot by 50,000 people. And luckily, this tank has enough armor to occasionally bounce a grill. Although, it didn't show up on the blocked counter, so I think that was just an armor not hit. Which is the grill 15 special, as you know. Anyway, I got spotted there, and I'm like, what actually spotted me? Is it a tank destroyer at the back there? Strange. But we're all kind of locked down here. This is the best position on the map to be on. And so there isn't really anywhere to go. Everywhere else is kind of a crossfire or too open or whatever. So I'm just going to sit here and wait. Maybe someone will try their luck to come up here. They either go to our base, which we have some people back there, or they come up to the middle. So we just wait and be patient. Remember, always remember that meme. Always remember Kingpin standing there waiting around. Now the reason this... Oh, here they come. Check this out, okay? This guy's YOLOing in. Shoot his engine deck. Okay, they're not looking at me, thankfully. I've overheated. I need to cool down, cool down, cool down. And, okay, it's cooled down enough. Let's go in. There we go. Cool down, cool down. He's gonna back up, so I should just shoot anyway. And there we go. And, oh, there's the T-100. He's still alive there, actually. Let's see. This guy, you can pen him. This tank has enough pen. Not 100% of the time, but the tier 10 can be penned by the tier 11. And, oh, look. Yeah, I don't know if that was the move to make on 18 HP. Sakal turrets are actually kind of strong against this thing. Fortunately, though, he turned because I guess the Ares was blocking him. And, oh, okay, there he is. And, oh, shit, okay, we've got a T-803. He actually came back, which I don't think that was the smart move, but... You know, he immediately turned around to leave. He probably thought he was going to flank us and put us in a crossfire, but this tank has so much fucking DPM that just like that, we're on 6,400. These guys came in, and this tank, albeit with the help of some friends, completely halted their whole push. So, there's only a Grill 15 over there, and our allies are moving up. So, I'm going to go in with them. I think the best move now is to try and flank them. Because we can't really push into the south there. It's a crossfire no matter what. Well, the K-line's not a crossfire, but I'm not shooting the front of KR-1s. You can pen them, but it's not reliable. And then they'll certainly pen you. No. One bonus with this tank is that you really don't have to stop and aim for tanks that are one-shots because you fire so much. Although, maybe you should because you might miss the first few. And then the person you're aiming at will shoot you before they die, but that's fine. Now, I'm wondering, did anybody come back? There's an Ares C that might have come back, and he's scary, although... he actually doesn't have that much health, so I can just take him out. There we go. We're on almost 7,000 damage, 5 kills. Pretty good. So, when does this replay get good, Chems? I mean, this is a good damage total, but you were hyping up this video to be only the best of the best. It is going to be only the best of the best. Like I said, this tank pulls out 5k out of its ass at the end of every match. This is not an exception, okay? Alright, this I would say now is the end of the match. We're all going in. Okay, there's a Foshby there. I'm sniping at his weak spots. I don't really want to snipe at his weak spots. And, oh, okay, I got spotted. He's not looking, though. Alright, is this KR-1 going to go in? He is going to go in. Alright. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. Top Gun. 7.3 thousand. We need to get closer. We need to pull that 5k out of my ass that I kept talking about. Okay. Let's go. Our allies don't have much health except for our KR-1, but he's playing kind of passively, and that T-803 still has a lot of health. So, the T-803, perfect. The E-50 took the shot, and... Oh, yes, yes, yes. I stopped to look to see if that Foshby was going to YOLO me. But, yeah, let's see here. Alright, let's let the gun cool down fully, or most of the way fully, before I poke out again. And, well, this guy's poking out, and there we go, killed him. I don't know if you've noticed, we're on 8,600 damage, 7 kills. We're not done here just yet, boys. Keep going, keep going. This Imbattable, I think he's reloading. There we go. Don't want to shoot into the ground. Okay, I actually bounced a few shots because they kept shooting my side trying to track me. 9,000 damage. He's coming in. He's not going to come in. He's a one-shot, so I have to force my way in. All right, there we go. Take him out and out. That guy completely overshot it. Engine, engine, engine. Is he reloading? I think he's reloading. Just like that, 11,000 damage, 9 kills. The damage total says 10,400. It's actually 11,000. Because we blind shotted at Ares at the beginning, and it seems that every single one of those blind shots hit. Because that's a big jump to go from 10,400 to 11,000. But remember, guys, not a moment ago, we were at 6k, and now we're at 11. Because this tank just pulls 5k out of its ass every damn game. So, 11 kills, or 11,000 damage, 9 kills. Very nice score. Oh, you think we're done here? No, we're going on to the next replay, alright? You look in the chat, immediately I say, hill! Because you should always do that. Convince some of your ally friends to go up the hill with you. Just so they can act as meat shields. But anyway, something I forgot to mention was the first replay you watched, and the one that we just watched, I guess the last replay we watched, they were both played on the same day. They were only a few hours apart from each other. I can't remember the last time I did 2 10k damage games in the same day. Because remember, I don't play this game 9 to 5. In fact, I barely play this game at all. So, doing 10k twice in one day is quite substantial, considering I only play for a few hours, and if I play at all. Of course, if you know, for example, Killzor, he streams the game. He plays the game all day, and he's an exceptional player. So getting 10k twice in one day, it's not so crazy. But for me, it is, because I don't play 9 to 5. But yeah, I did say go up the hill, and I did not go up the hill. I don't know, I was a bit afraid of getting clipped out by both a Tessac and a Ares. I wasn't a fan of going up the hill. However, that BZT just fired, and the Tessac just clipped him out. So I can actually get up here for free. Shoot that guy in the ass. The KR1 missed because his gun depression over the ass wasn't good enough. And just like that, I didn't actually get the kill on the KR1, but that's fine. This guy, engine, engine, engine. No, no fire. I still did 800 to him, though. And this tank can actually pen its lower plate. Because despite being a super heavy, the BZT's armor is not that good. Yeah. Anyway, did you notice it yet? I noticed it later. I want to focus on this guy right here before he loses his HP to my team, but there's a Taschenrate behind us. Now, I can go farm up the Taschenrat, but I kind of want to farm up this guy before my allies farm him up for me. However, he's playing like kind of like a bitch. I get the kill, and now I can go take care of the rat. Perfect. Look at that full health rat. Now, something that I should have done is load HE for him, but first, before that, aim, engine deck, or not engine deck, just engine. Cool down a little bit. He's gonna get into cover, so I can't cool down all the way, and ah shit, I accidentally overheated it like a bot. It's fine though, I don't really have a shot on that Taschenrate. Now, this tank's HE is ridiculous. It's more ridiculous than I thought. Like, for the longest time I thought, yes, this tank will do huge amounts of damage to tanks that don't have armor. No, it'll just splash people for huge amounts of damage. Anyway, this guy is shooting me. Let's just sidescrape him. It looks like he's actually shooting my turret. I turned there. He bounced. I'm taking a decent amount of heat for this, but to be honest, that's the only damage I'm gonna get. Him and this rat right here. Anyway, it's actually worth firing HE at this guy's roof. I think I would have done more damage. But, that's fine. There we go. And he's dead. 7.6 thousand damage just like that. This tank just pulls damage out of its ass like nobody's business. There is a 4K. Oh, yes. Load the HE. I don't want to poke him, but I will sidescrape him. He can't really pen my turret, but he can pen my hull. So that's what's nice about this tank. It has just enough armor so things like 4Ks can't really pen you in the turret. And, oh, perfect, he fired. Game over for him. 8,800 damage. There's still 3,000 left. How much of that can I get? Let's see. Ah, grill 15. Bruh. Are you kidding me right now? You know what? Maybe I should not have ate so much shit from the Fosh B. Okay? Fine. I could have maybe gotten a bit more damage had I not done that. But it's okay. 9,000 damage in like 5 minutes is still pretty impressive. Now, I'm gonna actually cut the video here. I have a lot more replays, okay? I was just showing you some high damage games. Look, there are other higher damage games, but they're close games. They're like Kolobanov's level of games. I've had some insanely close games, 1v5s in this tank. And those are some truly spectacular replays. I'm actually going to save those for another video. Probably in the next video, or one of the next few videos. That video is going to be insane, because those replays are, like I said, Kolobanov's, like... There was one game on Empire's Border where it was just like non-stop firing the base, and then immediately turn around non-stop firing the other direction. Holy cow. Or there was another one on Paris. I got YOLO'd by 5 people. Almost at the same time. They did come one at a time, but it was like right after each other. Like as soon as I killed one, the next one came. It was incredible. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to hype you up for the next video. I hope this was enjoyable for you, and thanks for watching.